For why Neil's here to tell us that story. So Neil, come on up. We're so glad you're here. Grateful for the work you're doing. Thank you.
I told Brian I just want to take him everywhere I go because he tells the story even better than I can. But thank you for the opportunity, Brian, to be here. And thank you. I want to give tonight you the opportunity to have impact with every kingdom leader everywhere in the world. And that's millions. That's millions of leaders. But what we discovered early on in our journey with Leadership Connection is that it really has to do with the individual leader, with one leader's life. This is Andrew Stokeland, senior pastor of a mega church in Southern California, author, podcaster, husband to a beautiful wife, Kayla, father to 3 beautiful children, who one day in his office, overwhelmed by what he was facing, took his own life. Just shortly after that, another pastor in Southern California did the same thing. David Cook, who works with me closely around the world, he introduced me to this story, and I was going to have him come tell it. It draws tears every time we tell it. David's a pastor in Placerville. And stunningly, Barna tells us that 18% of pastors contemplate this at some point. The greatest danger for kingdom leaders is isolation and loneliness because they really don't have anywhere to go. Pastors don't have any safe place to be real. You know, their congregations are congregations, as Ryan mentioned. Their board is their employer. Their staff are their employees. So where do they go to just say, hey, I'm really challenged in this area? Nonprofit executives are like an island on themselves. There could be another nonprofit executive right down the hallway and they won't even know. Now, thankfully, Sacramento Barnabas has weaved together so many wonderful nonprofit leaders here under the guidance of the 3 groups that Eric Bergen leads for us. But that's a rare exception. That's a very rare exception. When we started this, I was looking at my pastor at church one day. He was preaching, and there's hundreds of people listening to him. And I thought to myself, all these people, they go to him when they have something, they need to deal with. Where does he go? And all I heard was crickets. This is actually a whiteboard in my office about 10 years ago, up on the wall, because that's when God impressed upon us, like, every kingdom leader everywhere should at least be aware of a resource like this, and an ever-increasing percentage should be able to make use of it, right? And so we're thinking, what is that? Well, that's a big number, right? That's like 180 countries. If you just take 1 million leaders out of the 180 countries, there's 800,000 in the U.S. alone. Those 2 numbers together are 1.8 million, and if they all touch maybe 200 lives, that's 360 million lives. That's a big number. I had no idea. This was 10 years ago that I put this up. I had no idea how to do it. There's a lot of numbers up there, but these are the numbers that really matter. I'm not going to read them all to you. They're from Barna and other researchers, but they're just stunning. 91% of pastors experience some type of burnout. 9 out of 10 have said, I wasn't really prepared for this. 85% of spouses, like, the hardest thing about our marriage is this ministry. 50% contemplate, hey, I would do something else if I could figure out how to do it. Right? The demand is everywhere. And that's why we want to impact every kingdom leader everywhere that we can. 180 countries. Millions of leaders. David and I were on a call this morning with TrueFace and Right Now Media. They want to impact 10,000 churches in the U.S. They want to use our groups to do that. And they expressed to us and said, hey, you're our plan A, and we got no plan B. Okay? And as Brian mentioned, we had the opportunity to engage with Azan. And Azan is the world's largest convener of the evangelical church, bringing all these leaders together every 10 or 15 years. And out of that experience, they said, hey, we have 1,200 of the world's top leaders, young leaders, in a group called Bridges. We want to use your groups to minister and support these individuals. So they want 300 groups, and we're going to start 50 groups. The target is 50 groups next year. David just fainted. We already have some groups going on here. One amazing group that is a Russian-Ukraine combined group, pastors from Russia and Ukraine together. And in many of these other countries, Manila, Nepal, Rwanda, Japan, DRC, Haiti, all through Africa, these groups. Everywhere we go, everywhere we share this, people are like, we need this. We need this now. How can we have this be part of our community? When we first started this, we wondered how long would it take pastors to be real? I mean, because it's not real safe for them. If we get them together, how long would it take? We went to this retreat center in San Damiano, and it took about an hour. As soon as they knew it was safe, it was like a pent-up demand. It's like they're saying, I'm not even sure I want to be a pastor, or I want to pastor a church that I want to go to. Yeah? Every pastor, think of a name. Think of your pastor's name. Think of nonprofit ministry leaders that you know by name. Every single person you know has a need to have this authentic community where they can be real with each other. The local impact that has happened here in Sacramento and in this greater region has been powerful. Eric, I don't want to embarrass him, but I will, is one of the best facilitators we have. Woo! The picture up on the right, that's David and Brian and I and another partner of ours in Seoul, Korea at the Lausanne movement. There, the pictures on the lower left are just opportunities and engagements we have around the world already. Our desire is to give this away, is to give it away to the world. And we are self-sustaining financially. We always have been and always will be, meaning we charge for what we do. And we train networks now. We train denominations, missionary organizations, how to do that. We charge for that because operationally we always want to be self-sustaining, but we need your help to expand this and communicate this to the world. Leadership Connection, what we do is we create safe places for kingdom leaders to do life and ministry together in authentic ways with people who understand their world and can speak into it. And that is the solution. This is the universal need. You probably can't see this whiteboard up here or the details, especially if you're anywhere in the back. But this is a whiteboard. In Kenya, we talked about 50 leaders. We said, hey, what are the issues that you deal with? And they just started putting them up there. I could just, delegation, lack of a hobby, unrealistic depression, retirement, resources. We could take that board literally to every country in the world. Of course, we have to translate it, but it has impact everywhere we go. Everywhere we go, people are saying, how can we do this? The solution is simple. It's this leadership leverage. Train facilitators, have them start groups, and impact the world. Our need is to have the talent to go share this with the world and the tools to do that. So we are targeting 155,000 by March 1st so that we can have the personnel that can go and share this with missionary organizations and denominations around the world, that we have the technology and the tools to give to them. One of our desires is to build a DIY model of this. So 5 pastors under a tree in Africa can download it and just do it right there. And the travel, obviously, to do that, and partners to do it with, such as yourself. We're often asked, hey, what are some of the ways that we measure this or some of the challenges we have? And certainly how many networks that we launched, how many denominations, how many groups, how many people in there. But most importantly is this. How many lives have been changed and are now thriving? How many of those pastors that are sitting in their office wondering, what do I do next, actually have a safe community where they can go and connect and be encouraged and supported? That's the number that we're going for. So if you can help us do that, I want to thank you for what you're already doing. You would not be in this room if you didn't care about ministry leaders, if you weren't already encouraging. Thank you for that. Thank you for being here tonight, and thank you for considering being with us as we try to impact every ministry leader everywhere. Woo.